What is up, everybody? How are you doing? It is the Big Dawg Named Austin, back at you again with another fantastic video. This time talking about NFL free agency. Okay, now I know I had a little video about this earlier. I want to get deeper into that. Obviously, more specifically, I'm going to go in with the Colts free agency of things. Now, the Colts have a lot of notable free agents coming up. Guys that they could potentially re-sign. Will we re-sign all of them? Probably not. That's just the way it goes. But some of the key players. Defensive tackle Grover Stewart, who's 30 years old. Cornerback Kenny Moore, who's 28. Gardner Minshew. Now, Gardner Minshew is a different kind of topic. I feel like I'll do a different video separate of that. Gardner Minshew... if you want to back, Gardner Minshew's going to want to play somewhere else. He's going to want to start. He's going to want to try to start. He knows what he's going to be no matter what here. He is a guy who can come in and play solid, but he's a backup quarterback. Michael Pittman Jr. is the most important free agency on this list. I want to get into that a little bit. There was a game against the Atlanta Falcons that he did not play in, and that was a big difference in that the offense looked flat. He is a simply put, he's a game changer. He's a playmaker. He goes up and gets it. He fights for the extra yard. He is just all around tough. So you got to pay Michael Pittman. He's going to demand probably top dollar. You know, we'll see how it is. He's 26 years old. So, I mean, he's still in the prime of his career. And let's get him going with Anthony Richardson, man. Let's get Anthony Richardson all the help we can get. And, yeah, like, okay, cool. You don't want to pay him. Look, these kind of wide receivers don't grow on trees, okay? You got a guy in your building. You just need to go ahead and pay him, okay? Now, also... you look at this list, defensive end Tycon Lewis, who's solid. He's 29 years old. I could see them moving on from him. Julian Blackmon, strong safety, who's 25. I feel like you're going to have to pay him. Julian Blackmon, prior to the injury, he was solid. And he's very good in your secondary. So I feel like you need to get Julian Blackmon back. Zach Moss, backup running back. I could see him walking, to be honest. I could. But those are really the players of note. Like I said, Grover Stewart and Kenny Moore. I'd love to see those guys back, especially Kenny Moore. I mean, he's on the side of your building, and you can't let these guys walk. But let's look at other free agencies. Now, obviously, there's other teams that have free agents coming up, and they don't want to let them walk. Do you think Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs wants to, especially if they win the Super Bowl, they're going to pay him. Number 2, Kirk Cousins. Okay, Kirk Cousins is very interesting because he could stay in Minnesota, who's kind of in a weird position. They have a strong core, I feel like, but I don't know if they need to rebuild because Kirk Cousins isn't a long-term answer. Justin Jefferson's also a free agent. So what do you do there? It's tough. I mean, I don't know if Kirk Cousins will be back in Minnesota after the season. I mean, coming off of an injury, does a team need a quarterback like Kirk Cousins? And then what about Justin Jefferson? Do the Minnesota Vikings, do they sign Justin Jefferson to a big deal? Okay, let me make sure that wasn't no news or anything. Anyway. Do they sign Justin Jefferson to a big deal and trade him away? Who knows? But he's an interesting free agent that I'm looking forward to seeing. Josh Allen, the Jaguars. Josh Allen, he's a free agency defensive end, edge rusher. Look, that'd be cool to get, but I could, Number 4, T. Higgins. Look, I think I'd like to get T. Higgins. I would be shocked though if the Cincinnati Bengals let him walk. But you don't want to pay 2 guys on the wide, especially wide receiver. Aren't you already paying Burrow? So I mean, there you go. I mean, they might let T. Higgins walk. Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers. These are just a few. Antoine Winfield Jr. from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I feel like this would be good if you let Julian Blackmon walk. This would be a good signing. He's excellent. He's excellent in the secondary. I'd love to get him. L'Jarius Sneed, look, he's having an excellent year. That'd be awesome as cornerback. Now, number 11 on this list, Michael Pittman Jr. As I said, you've got to give him, got to pay him, you got to get him in there, get it back in the building. Mike Evans. So if you don't keep up with all the stuff that's going on with like the NFL Radio Row and the Super Bowl, allegedly Baker Mayfield was caught on a hot mic, saying something about potentially staying in Tampa Bay. One of the biggest reasons that Tampa Bay is successful is because of Mike Evans. I do not see them letting Mike Evans walk. I think he's a career Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I don't think that he's going to be playing for anybody else. But man, that'd be incredible to get Mike Evans in here. If nothing else, if you don't sign anybody else other than the guys you have in-house and you get Mike Evans to go along with Michael Pittman Jr., dude, it's over. But I don't think that'll happen. I think he'll stay in Tampa Bay. Let's go back here. Let's look. Okay. Yeah. Marquise Brown from the Arizona Cardinals. He's a free agent. Okay. See, I like looking at the free agent wide receivers. I haven't seen Justin Jefferson on here, but I'm pretty sure that he's a free agent as well. Maybe he's just on the trade block. Maybe that's what I saw. But man, I'm telling you, the Colts need one more weapon at wide receiver, whether that's through the draft. Now, the draft, you don't know who you're going to get exactly. You don't know what kind of play you're going to get because you don't know how the college game transfers over to the NFL game. But this is a very crucial year. You got to get some skilled position players. Obviously, you want to help support your young quarterback. And not a rookie quarterback anymore because he had a rookie season, but your young quarterback who will hopefully be back and healthy and all will be well. Yeah. So you got to surround your young quarterback with talent. That's all. That's great. Do you get it in free agency or do you get it in the draft? That's the big question. So far, I feel like Chris Ballard has gone through the draft. But you got to also remember that Shane Steichen is in the building, and maybe he wants something a little different. Maybe he sees a guy who he thinks he can fit into a system. He's like, hey, Chris, go get this guy. Go try and get this guy. Maybe. So we'll see. Free agency, I'm not exactly sure when it starts. This article doesn't say it. But, and I know it's mid-March. It's mid-March. We're coming up on it. Obviously, you've got the Super Bowl, and then you've got the Combine, and you've got a whole bunch of stuff jumbled up. We'll dive into that as the offseason progresses. Look, even after football ends, we still got a lot to talk about. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'm going to have a lot more breakdowns, a lot more thoughts and reactions to a lot of different stuff. And I want you guys to keep up with it because I move fast. I put out videos and by the next day, it's not relevant. Or you could just watch it just out of sheer entertainment. I talk a lot of shit. Absolutely. I have a good time on here, and you will too if you subscribe to my channel. Here I am cutting a promo. I am the Big Dawg Named Austin. I'm kidding. I'm not The Rock. But that was pretty entertaining. He was on the Pat McAfee show. That was pretty cool. And then I saw him smack Cody Rhodes right before I hopped on here. So that was very interesting. So shout out to The Rock. Yeah. Shout out to Pat McAfee. Shout out to you. And shout out to all the big dogs out there. But most importantly, go Colts.